What's going on, everybody? Little special video here today. I tuned into Survivor Series last night. I've been a, wrestling fan all my life, but the last couple of years, kind of tuning in through social media, and they'll watch the pay-per-views and those types of things too. And obviously there's been weeks, maybe even months of speculation that Phil Brooks, CM Punk, was going to return to the WWE after a very publicized firing. He got fired on his wedding day, left the company, and then he was out of wrestling for a long time. I had him on my old show and asked him if he was going to return to WWE when there was rumors that he was going to do the what is his backstage or whatever the name of the show was. Okay. Let me ask you about that though too, because there are these, obviously from the second you left, there's rumors that every day you're going to show up, whether it's AEW or now that there's rumors that you were at SmackDown doing stuff behind the scenes with Booker T and Renee Young. Any truth to the rumors that you were the SmackDown stuff, that you were there?
Yeah, I did it.
You did do it?
Yeah.
Okay. And so is that something that you want to announce? Do you want to go back? What's...
This goes back to me being in the position in my life where I'm like,
yeah.
What do you got?
That he was going to do, and he had told me at the time that he was, and he returned for a little bit, but he didn't return necessarily to WWE. It was more like a Fox thing. So then the big return came at AEW, and he returned to AEW in Chicago, and people lost their minds. It was the return of Punk to wrestling, and he had a run. He wound up winning the championship. He got hurt. He came back, and then there was a major falling out one time, and there's a thing that happened in the locker room, and there was a fight, and then he came back again after that whole thing, and then there was like another kind of altercation or whatever it might be, and then he wound up leaving the company. Tony Khan, who runs AEW, let him go, which seemed to be a major mistake in the way that it happened, because then the rumors started to fly wildly about Punk returning to the WWE. So everyone was wondering, is it going to happen? If it's going to happen, would it happen at Survivor Series because it was in Chicago, or would they wait? And then more and more time kind of went on, and just a lot of people thought it could happen. A lot of people started to doubt it. So last night, I tuned in general. I was curious about the Phil Brooks thing, but I was also curious in general how the Survivor Series was tuning in. First match I watched was, it kind of scrubbed a little bit of it, but I really watched the Gunther versus Miz match, and I thought it was a great match. I really like Gunther a lot. I think he's very old school. I like the fact that, look, I loved Honky Tonk Man, and I loved the run that he had back in the day. It was you didn't expect it to happen, and the fact that Gunther broke his record is pretty awesome. So anyway, that match happens, and the main event happens, and you see all these, each person coming in, they kind of tease Randy Orton may or may not show up, and you don't know. And they have this really great match for War Games inside of the Survivor Series main event, and I was very impressed with it overall. And then the big return at the very end happens, and it's Randy Orton. Now, I've never been a Randy Orton guy. I've always respected him and the things that he's done, but I was never like a massive fan. I thought his return was excellent in the way that they played it out. He looks massive, and I was like, okay, maybe that's going to be the return is Randy Orton. It was a great match, and it played out well. Everybody involved had a tremendous showing. So, okay. So then they throw the trademark logo up, which when you do, it's like, oh, that's the end of it. And I'll be honest. Now, what a lot of people didn't see, saw more so on social media, was that Seth Rollins lost his mind, and Drew McIntyre walked out of the arena also, rumored that it was because of Punk. Now, if you look at the footage that I'll play here as well too, you've got Seth Rollins screaming at Punk and screaming profanities at him too, and it looks, in wrestling terms, it looks like a shoot. And he's screaming at him because the question is, if he's off camera, why is he screaming at him that way? Why is he screaming profanities at him in that particular way? And why is he really losing his mind in that way? Because he said things about Punk in the past, such as...
So we don't know what's going on with CM Punk, but you guys have had some barn burners in WWE. Would you like to see Phil Brooks back in WWE?
Oh, Philly Phil, stay away. Stay away, you cancer. Get away from me forever.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't like Phil. He's a jerk. Oh, did we just figure that out? No, everybody in the room is like, oh no, dude, did he say that? Yeah, no, he's a jerk. Come on, we figured it out over there. We knew it over here. I don't want him back. Go do something else. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you later.
Now, when he said those things about Punk, and when he said those things, about this was, I think it was after the AEW fight. I can't remember. I don't know if it was earlier this year, and there was just a lot of things. They had asked him if he was going to come back, and there's history with CM Punk and Seth Rollins from and Punk at one point had talked about how Rollins talked about on a podcast, had said some things, and they've had this beef. Now, so here's Seth Rollins screaming at him, and everybody on social media now is losing their minds and wondering, is this a shoot? Is it a work? Because if they can use this type of heat in the same way that Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart had their heat, and countless other wrestlers in the past that have actually had some real heat with each other, could they build this into a massive main event? Now, if they can get on the same page, then yes, 100% they can. Now, there's conflicting reports. There's reports that right after this, and Drew McIntyre stormed out of the arena. He stormed out before Punk even came out, but he stormed out apparently. And then you've got Seth Rollins, and the reports are this. Report 1 says that he went in the back, because he was telling Michael Cole and other people that, hey, you better get him out of there because I'm going to knock him out if I see him. And then he gets back there, and apparently Triple H ushered him away, and Punk was confused. That was one report. Now, the other report from Dave Meltzer says it was completely it's all an angle, all a work, that they're playing off this real heat, that they let Seth Rollins know even beforehand. There was only a couple people that knew, and Seth Rollins was indeed one of them, to play it up. Do what you need to do. You hate this guy? Go after him. Do what you got to do. Build it. That's the rumor. Who knows what it is? But nonetheless, it got everybody talking. It got everybody talking about this thing. I even saw some people going, I thought WWE was toast. Well, if you looked at the press conference, Triple H talked about how this was the most profitable and most viewed Survivor Series, I think, ever. And I think in that arena, second to only WrestleMania, it was the top events. And since Endeavor bought it over, and since Triple H took back the reins of creative, it seems to be on this boom. So getting Punk back is a very smart move if they can handle it in the way that AEW couldn't, because there's tons of feuds and there's tons of things they could do with Punk. Seth Rollins, to me, is the play up top. You get him to WrestleMania, you get CM Punk his main event that he's been looking for a long time. You get that heavyweight title match, and you play it, and you let it marinate for the next couple of months through Royal Rumble, through all these things, and you get it to WrestleMania, and you have Punk fight Rollins at WrestleMania. You've got, because of his history with the Shield, you've got the Roman Reigns angle. You have all these other things. You can really build a lot of people up with Punk, and you can have some things. And who knows, with AEW, this seems to be one of the kind of, I don't know, maybe the end, maybe, to tell you the truth. It could be. They got MJF over there, but if MJF leaves, it's over. It's the final nail in the coffin. And I think that might happen now, because once that contract's over and MJF goes over and you can get Punk, you'd kind of treat him in the same way that you're treating Reigns. You give him some time, because the guy's 44, 45 years old. There's only so much he can do, but you can, if you use him the right way, you don't tire him out. And the question is with Rollins, because Rollins is a pro, right? Rollins bleeds WWE. That's why he's gone after AEW so many times in the past with the things that he said. But you wonder if his emotion, because he really truly does not like Phil Brooks. There's a lot of people inside the locker room that don't like Phil Brooks. Now the question is, will that professionalism come out in the same way that Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart hated each other? They hated each other, but they protected each other in the ring. And because of it, you got classics, whether it was the Iron Man match, was the, whatever. The match at Survivor Series, the Montreal Screwjob, was a fantastic match. Just the ending was the ending. But they've had this classic battles, those two, because they took care of each other in the ring. They hated each other, but they took care of each other in the ring. And that's what you kind of hope happens going through this too, because I know Becky Lynch at one point, her and Charlotte Flair don't like each other anymore, but one of the things that there was concerned of, because there's this kind of real heat with them now that you don't trust as much, that they're not going to try to take some kind of personal vengeance in the ring. And you just kind of cross your fingers and say, well, let's hope that WWE can really build this program out. But the main question is, I'm going to give you my answer to this first. I think this is a work shoot, meaning that I think that they know that the real heat that Seth had. I do believe the Meltzer report that Triple H was like, look, I'm bringing him back. I want you to lose your shit. I don't care who sees it. Someone will pick it up. Someone will see it. Whether it's video cameras, whatever, you'll do it right in front of the ring. Go after this guy. Go nuts. Come back in the freaking locker room and go after it. I want media reporting on it. I don't want media to even know if it's real or fake. Go after him and we'll build this shit to WrestleMania. You hate his guts? Show me why. I believe that's the thing. I think Triple H thinks that way. And I think that they're going to use it, and then they're going to use it into an angle. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they didn't even tell Punk that was the case, and he just probably said, we're going to put you in an angle with Seth Rollins. Or do you think it's a full-on shoot, and he just lost his mind for this one, and Triple H has to talk to him and say, look, man, pony up. Let's make some money out of this thing and stop your bitching. You lost your cool, but we can actually use it because people are thinking they don't know if it's real or not. So cut the shit and let's play ball. So I ask you guys, was it a shoot? Was it a work? What do you think? Please make this a big debate in the comments section, because I'm going to go through them all and I want to have a conversation about it, because I want to hear from you guys. Do you think that this was an actual, is it real? I don't think is there real heat is the question, because I think everybody's going to say the answer is yes, it is real heat. But do you think that this was off the cuff, Seth losing it, that they'll turn into an angle? Or will they already knew it? Or because of it's so heated, they're going to stay away from it and give Punk someone else? They got to address this though, right? So go ahead, comment, let me know. If you're brand new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Do a lot of different things on this channel. And we hit 100 pretty quick, but I want to get to 200,000 subscribers. My goal is to do it sooner than we did the 100, so I hope that you join us. We do a lot of short form stuff. We do a lot of movie stuff. We have a UAP show on Tuesday. We do a lot of different things here, so we hope that you will join us on the channel. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.